Hi everyone. In this video I'm going to show you how to set up the annotation tool. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the flow down of what we're going to do. So the first thing is to create an account on gitlab.com. After that we're going to download git bash. After that we're going to create an SSH key. Then we're going to go ahead and clone our GitLab repository, which has all of our images. And after that, we're going to download Python 3.7. And then once we download Python, we're going to create a directory in our images folder, which I will explain more later on. And then we're going to go ahead and run our Python script, which is actually the annotation tool. The annotation tool was created in Python. So hopefully this makes a lot more sense once we go ahead and go through this. So the first thing is create an account on gitlab.com. So as you can see, I'm already on GitLab. So if you go here, I'm signed in, but this will give you an option to create an account. So register. So fill all this stuff in, go ahead and verify your emails. And once you do that, let me know, message me, and I can add your username to our repository if you're not already a part of our repository and if you're creating an account for the first time. So after you create your GitLab account, we're going to go ahead and download git bash. So if you actually go to this website, it will allow you to download bash for any of your operating systems. So I obviously have Windows. So once you click on it, it automatically downloads in the bottom left corner. Once it's done downloading, you can go ahead and click on it and open. Go ahead and say yes. Okay, next. Go ahead, the defaults are fine. Go ahead and hit next. I usually use Notepad++ as the default editor. This would require you to download Notepad++. So if you go ahead and click on that, it'll actually take you to where you can download it. So the left corner, you could download it. But that's just my preference. You have other options. Choose whichever one you're most comfortable with. But yeah, Sublime Text is also pretty good too. So it seems like all of these you have to download at least one type of editor. So hit next. And then once you get here, the second one is the one we want to choose. Go ahead and choose the top one, open SSL library. After that, I like the top one, check out Windows style and commit Unix style line endings. So line endings are different in Linux versus Windows. So whenever we push up stuff to the repository, we want to make sure that it's in the Windows format. So the top one is fine if you're using Windows. I don't think you have these same options for Mac. I think you want to check out and also push with Unix style. After that, this is Windows specific again. Use Minty, which is the default terminal. After that, yes, I leave all of these as default, and then go ahead and click install. I'm going to exit out because I already have git bash, but go ahead and install that. It shouldn't take very long. So if you go down here, you do git bash, should open up, should look like this. So this is a terminal. So if you go ahead and do an ls, it lists out all the files that you have, or I should say the directories that you have. So whenever you see desktop documents, downloads, favorites, this is basically the same thing as your file explorer, except that they don't have nice icons. So we have desktop, downloads, documents, pictures, all of this stuff. So you can do a CD, which is a change directory, into desktop. And now if I do an ls, now I can see all the stuff that's on my desktop. So if I were to do this in my file explorer, if I go to desktop, I see these same things. So I have Here we go, something for Slack. Yep, Spotify. I have training images folder, a vision folder, Ubuntu and Windows ISO files. So like I said, these are the exact same thing. One just has a nice icons, nice visuals. The other one is just is a terminal. So what I'm going to do, let me go ahead and delete these so we can go through the same process. Okay, so I deleted them, so training images and vision are no longer here. As you can see, I just deleted them. All right. So once we get that going, and at any point, if I'm moving too quickly, go ahead and just pause the video until you can go ahead and get through your own process. So after that, we want to create an SSH key. This basically is a key that you're going to upload to GitLab, and it's a way for GitLab to verify that you are the user on the other end. So you log in with your username. So mine is Diana Lee G, and wants to make sure that I am actually Diana Lee G on the other end. So we're going to go ahead and do these. So go ahead and type this command, ssh-keygen-t, and it's going to be of type ED25519-C, and this is going to be my email, dianalee.g.842@gmail.com. Okay, and make sure that that's the email that you signed up with on GitLab. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. So generating a public and private key, and it says enter the file in which you want to save the key. Just hit enter. This doesn't matter. I'm going to say no because I already have a key, but for all of you, it's going to ask you it's going to ask you where you want to save it or what passphrase you want. Just go ahead and hit enter. You really don't need the passphrases for what we're doing. So I'm going to hit no, but all of you should be hitting enter, enter, enter. And then your SSH key was generated. So now what you have to do is copy the SSH key so that we can paste it into our GitLab. So if you have a Mac, this is the command you want to use. For those of us using Windows, this is the command we will use. So we'll do a cat ~//dd _ ed25519.public pipe clip. The clip means that you're basically grabbing this key and you're copying it onto the clipboard. Okay. So now, once you've went ahead and clipped it, you can go to your GitLab, and I like to go up here, SSH. They usually give you an option, SSH keys. Oh, you're just not going to do it. Okay, let me see. Profile, possibly. Okay, it usually shows me. Oh, because I signed out. Duh. Okay, let me sign in again. Okay, SSH keys and settings. You're just not gonna. There we go. So this is where you would paste it. So if you do right click, paste, boom. So you pasted it from your clipboard, and then you can title it whatever you want. So I obviously did 3 different types of SSH keys. One's on our desktop computer, the Desert Wave desktop computer. I did one for the Jetson, and then I did one for my personal computer. So once you do that, go ahead and do add key. I'm not going to add it because I already have one. Okay. So once you save that, now we can clone the GitLab repository. So what we're going to go ahead and do, I prefer to do this on the desktop. That's personal choice. As you can see, I'm right here on my desktop. You can choose wherever you want to clone it, but like I said, for simplicity, we can just all add it to our desktop. So I'm going to go ahead and do a git clone http:// and then username would be your own username. Mine is DianaLeeG at gitlab.com / desert-wave / and we're actually going to have to clone 2 repositories, one for our images and one for our annotation tool. So let's go ahead and start with our annotation tool. That would be under vision.git. So if your SSH key was set up properly, this will go ahead and clone it. So now if I do an ls, you will see vision. Okay, so it wasn't here before. I cloned it, and now it is here. So now I'm going to go ahead and do a change directory cd space into my vision folder. So I'll do an ls again, and it shows me that it is empty. So we're actually going to check out a different branch. So we're going to go ahead and do a git checkout. Actually, let me see what branches are available. Git branch-a. This shows you all the branches that are available. So we don't need a -b. Do a git checkout subvision. Cool. So I don't know if you guys just noticed that I moved over to subvision branch from the master branch because I did a checkout. So now if I do an ls, I have the annotation tool and I have my training folder. So if I do a change directory cd into the annotation tool, I'm able to see all of these files and folders. If they're in purple, that means that they're folders. Okay. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set an upstream. Set upstream to equals origin / subvision. Cool. And then after this, I'm going to do a git pull rebase. And that's just grabbing the latest and greatest from the branch. So that means if somebody else pulled or pushed or made changes to that branch, that you're going to get all that latest information. So this is a really useful command. And every time you work, you should probably use it. Just so you don't build on top of old information. So now I'm going to do an ls again. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to install Python 3.7 or greater. So we need Python in order to run our Python scripts. So I don't know if you see that they end in .py. That means that they are Python scripts. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that in here. Whoop. That is not what I wanted to paste. There we go. Go ahead and download Python 3.7. Here it is in the bottom left corner. So I already have it, which is why it gives me all of these options. But for you, it should ask you to install. And one of the most important things when it's asking you to do certain configurations and you have to check boxes, make sure that you check the box that says add to system variables. If you don't check the box, then Python will not work properly. So make sure you check the box and go ahead and finish the installation. The defaults that they have for Python are fine. So feel free to pause the video while this is installing. I'm going to go ahead and move forward. So once we have Python installed, we're going to go ahead and run this script. And you can run it by doing a python get-pip.py. So like I said, I already have this installed, so it's going to probably tell me, hey, you have this installed. So I'm going to uninstall it and then reinstall it. Yep. So for you all, it should just go ahead and install it. Super. And if Python isn't working for you, just regular Python, try doing a Python 3.7 space get-pip.py. Okay. So now once we have pip installed, we're going to do a pip install pillow with a capital P. Okay, mine says you already have pillow, so I'm not going to install, but for all of you, it should be installing at this point. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and do an ls. Great. So the next thing that we can do, we're going to go ahead and skip this step for right now. I just added it in, but we don't need to use that right now. I just want to show you all how to launch it. So I'm going to go ahead and run our main script now, which is the annotation tool, and it's called main.py, which is located here. Okay. So if you hit enter, you should get a box like this that opens up, and this is the tool that we're going to be using. So I am now going to show you how to upload images so you can start annotating them. But this is basically the point, and this is the most difficult point in which you actually get the tool working. So I'm going to create a second video that shows you how to upload images.